Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's weekly Town Hall meeting, August 29th, 2022. Today's agenda is projects and development updates, documentation updates, marketing updates, collaboration updates, and Q&A. Bobson, please start us off with projects and development updates.
Thank you. So as usual, our list starts with the process improvements. And previously we mentioned about lack of matrices, which we have now addressed with this new tool based on Google Dora project. It's called Haystack. I have some upcoming slides with some more details. And another aspect was our enormous list of vulnerabilities across various products. So we are now able to address most of them, especially in the Dex UI and Next project. So Next project currently has 0 vulnerabilities. And we are also successfully bringing in a lot of audit steps to mitigate any future issues similar to this. And on the GitLab front, the cleanup is in progress, and we still have to handle the epics. So that is still a work in progress. The engineering metrics, unfortunately, I was not able to get some screenshots because the tool was down for me. Anyway, the basis is that so currently what we're doing is our primary focus is on project management and task completion as opposed to products being delivered. So these our current methodology is focusing on emphasizing on it focuses on product deliveries, and irrespective of the sprint deliveries or other issues pending, etc. We'll be looking at activity in the source code repositories, especially activities like releases and starting with PRs or MRs, which are we track the progress of MRs. So essentially, if you have a new code commit, it goes through review and approval. So that is one item that we will be tracking religiously, and then completion of those MRs. So that those completions will be counted towards our velocity, and then further the next step was the deployments. So these deployments will be tracked, and against these deployments, we will also be looking at errors if there are any errors that will add up to the quality. And for the project management matrices, we'll still have to continue using GitLab. But for other things like releases and everything, we'll be using Haystack based matrices. Hopefully next week I'll have some more graphs and further details on Haystack. And it's already, just to add to that, it's already making a lot of progress. We are able to do a lot of good. We are already able to make a good use of it. We are able to track stale branches and a lot of outstanding work. And we've also understood that our CI/CD process needs a lot of improvement. So that is being taken care to begin with the next project. So we had a trial of this product for last 2 weeks, and we have already started making a lot of good measurable progress. Okay, moving on to the blockchain updates. So we have been working on introducing this libBitcoin library, which will enhance how we handle the Bitcoin addresses. So we're anticipating this to be a pretty easy task, but there were some challenges due to the way addresses are handled. So we have addressed those, and we have a kind of a POC available now. And we also have some good news from the Ethereum Suns side. We roughly have a POC available now. So it still has rough edges, but I would say we have successfully completed proof of concept. And another work on the Hive side, we are continuing to monitor for any coming changes which will break our integration. So those are our charts for the previous week. Dex UI. So on the Dex UI, we are kind of winding up this product's development. And what's happening is, as I indicated earlier, we had amassed quite a few vulnerabilities. So we are addressing those. And we are also integrating an updated version of Peerplays JS library, which also had quite a few vulnerabilities. So we are integrating this, and a new release will be made hopefully sometime this week, given out to QA. And I think that should be the kind of the final release. And going forward, our primary focus will be on the next product. Okay, this is our current progress. So I guess from the next week onwards, I will avoid these sprint charts because we'll have probably only 3 outstanding tasks on the Dex UI. On the next side, we have made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks. In the primary area of work is our CI and CD pipeline, where we have reduced a lot of new steps involving steps as in like stages where we inspect the code and also automation testing. So primarily security testing. So we have been bringing in these stages on the CI side. There's some more work to be done, and we'll be able to do a release with all these new changes that we're working on. And on the development side, we started or resumed full-fledged development. There are quite a few new PRs which were created in the last 2 weeks. And on the test cases, we have completed creation of the test cases based on the functional specs, and regression testing has been started. And on the quality of the code, we have also brought in Sonar Cloud. This was a static code analyzer which we were using in the past. This is the report I've created based on the current development branch. This is summary is that some of them like bugs and vulnerabilities and code smells, they're looking pretty good. Even this security hotspot, just because of our translations. So the first four items, this is looking pretty good. And even I think the duplications is something that we can be ignored. It's not too much. But we have a problem with the code coverage. That is, our test-driven development is not doing a great job. So at least the Sonar Cloud expects its scanner or quality gate assumes that or expects that we should have 80% or more code coverage, but we are at zero. So that's one area we need to bring in more clarity. So these scans are, as I said, coming in as part of our CI/CD initiative, and this, as we can see, this is already giving us a lot of meaningful data. Okay, this is the design sprint. So on the design sprint, one design expert, usability expert, is creating new screens and changes. So the previous week we've not made much progress because the person who was supposed to review was away. So that's why we don't have much closures. And this is the development sprint. We have, as I mentioned, we have few items in the review stage that should make show a lot more progress. And also, it's quite interesting to note that compared to these modern metrics based on Dora project, these sprint charts gives an entirely different story. So we have a lot of PRs, but those are not getting reflected in our reports. I guess going forward, we need to also change the way we report our progress. On the Block Explorer, we have completed fixing of a few outstanding issues, and we have a deployment on Peerplays.network. So if anybody is interested, take a look. And on the JS library, we have addressed all the outstanding vulnerabilities we had. And in addition to these vulnerabilities, we are also making some changes related to the NFT lottery related operations where we are having few transaction serialization related bugs. Trade hands. So here, I guess there were two activities. One was the Svelte package, Svelte library framework was upgraded, and which also caused some refactoring. Some of these helper function for retrieval of NFTs, they were pending review. That's completed, and in addition to this, there are quite some more work which is in progress. These are the charts for this project. On together, we are in a discovery phase, and primarily what we're doing is we are exploring ways to make onboarding easier, and we'll be using a end user facing application which makes use of QR codes, and looks like we're making pretty good progress in this discovery phase. On the NFT lottery, we are still having challenges. So right now, what's happening is we've identified errors on the transaction serialization side. So this needs fixes. So that's being worked on, and we are also taking help from the trade hands team as they've been working with NFTs extensively. On the Python side, we are again having these serialization challenges. So what we've done is on the blockchain team has created a small utility which will give an extump of various calls being made against the blockchain API. So that is being used to debug the calls that we're making. So we're hoping that it will make debugging a lot more easier, and we'll be able to address these outstanding items. So here again, I guess we have not made much progress because the DevOps focuses on the next. So in the upcoming weeks, we will work on the CI packaging, and that will be almost everything with Bookkeeper. So that's all from the development team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robinson. Sean, documentation updates, please.
Hello, thank you. So since our last meeting, we have a couple of new documents and an updated document. We now have the reverse proxy and SSL guide for our infrastructure docs. We now have an updated user guide for the Peerplays decks. We finished up a functional spec for Whale Vault integration for Next, and now we are working on some documents regarding the setup and usage of Grafana, which is a logging software. Also, a document on delayed nodes and how to set up and use them. That's all I have today. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean. Sala, can you start us off with marketing updates and then move on to performance updates, please?
Thank you, Katie. Good morning, everyone. In terms of marketing update for the last week, we're still working ongoing work on the strategic planning, on the execution mode for all the social media and also the website's marketing strategy. We're still working on articles for every product that will be releasing soon. In terms of social media, as I mentioned, we are taking the next level for the content. As also Michael have joined us, we will be working heavily on having proper content plan for the social media and the website as well. The team is working currently on redesigning the whole website of peerplays.com, and we'll have like a better user experience and better look on it. So this is from the marketing updates. For the performance for this week, I'm presenting overview of analytics for the website in terms of quarter, the monthly and also the weekly growth. Like we see in terms of quarter, we saw like a big growth in terms of website traffic compared to the previous quarter. In terms of the months of July, we had a bit down compared to the June, because June we were mainly doing mini performance campaigns, so the traffic is higher than July. In terms of weekly, we're still seeing like a growth week to week. And then week to week, in terms of the traffic to our website, because of all the work that team is working on in terms of content, in terms of social media posts as well. In terms of social media performance, a similar presentation in terms of the quarter, the monthly, and also the weekly performance growth. We're seeing in terms of the quarter better engagements than before most of the social media, but in terms of the monthly, bit of down compared to the month before. But for the weekly, we're still working on getting like a better content plan, as I mentioned in the first slide. So this is a summary performance for this week, mentioning and then also in terms of SEO, we're like getting a new performance report in terms of showing the quarter previously and this quarter. So we're seeing growth in terms of users, organic search traffic throughout the whole website. Also, as the down at the below screenshot showed the backlinks and the referent domains. So we're working on having a backlink strategy to get in good backlinks in order to get the SEO to the next level. So this is a summary of the performance updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Sala. And Jonathan, collaboration updates, please.
Thank you very much. So for this past week in collaboration updates with Gaming Benefits Corporation, that is the project which is working with regulated charitable gaming. We didn't have any further updates with them. We are working on having a meeting with them soon, though, in regards to how we move forward. The work that you saw in regards to the 50/50 lotto has to do with Gaming Benefits Corp. So that's still in development. With Community, Avalon Meta Labs, we are even closer with our SSO development for having that implemented. We had some challenges this past week with that, but the guys worked on it, and I believe it's now resolved. The last update I heard, the SSO now integrates not just with Avalon Meta, but with WordPress, and that integrates with the Peerplays account, so that's pretty cool. So we should have more on that soon in terms of like when we're going to be able to utilize that Scenes platform for the community. Sports events, sports NFT with NHL licensing. So that's something that got the green light this past week, and we are moving forward with test case with that. There'll be more on that in the future. Esports, so payment and events management. So we've been in conversation with a team out of North Carolina that works with schools. I've talked about this in the past. They're now looking at formation for a nonprofit, which is going to head up creating a curriculum for esports at schools. So think about how you have things like soccer and football teams that are at high schools and colleges. This would be an organization which is helping to create a curriculum around esports at schools in the same fashion. So essentially, we're looking at formalizing esports as a sport at these schools. And that's what this organization would do. And they're looking to utilize Peerplays as the technical solution with blockchain to be able to organize this. So pretty exciting. Still in talks with that, but those are the developments so far. And dedicated team updates. As mentioned last week, we were having 3 new team members join us, and this week we do have 3 team members joining us. Also, there was a additional role added to one of the already existing team members. So blockchain development, Milo. Milo is going to be joining the team with the blockchain developers, and he is very talented C++ developer. Very excited to have him on board. This is going to increase our velocity with our blockchain development, which is exciting because of all the work we're doing, not just with our core graphene chain, but also coming into Substrate, which is based on Rust. So we're very excited to have him on board. Community manager, Vlad. So you may, if you are in the Telegram chat, he has made introductions there as the new community manager. Vlad has actually been working with the Peerplays team for quite some time now. I think it's coming up on a year now that I think about it. So he has been helping with primarily social media, Instagram. If you've seen the interviews that I've done, a lot of them were with him. So as community manager, his financial background actually is going to be very useful because he understands a lot of the finance world. He's now moved over to blockchain because this is where it's at. He understands where the future is going. He's a very smart guy. So, of course, working with Peerplays, he's very excited to be a part of that. So everybody, welcome Vlad as the new community manager who's going to help ensure that as we move forward, there's going to be somebody there who can take point with answering any questions and helping new community members as well as existing community members to get what they need as a community. So that's exciting. And then we have head of marketing and content, Michael. This is Michael Berry, who is our new head of marketing and content. Michael is out of the Toronto area in Ontario. And he's very excited to be on board. He was the one that was mentioned last week. He's just getting started, so he's still getting familiar with everything that's going on. But so far, the team is very excited to have him on board. All the team calls that have been had so far in regards to strategy and where things are at have been very energizing. So the feedback's been excellent, and we're happy to have him. And back end quality testing, Wasim. So Wasim is going to be doing back-end testing. This is something which has been the unicorn that we've been looking for forever, but we haven't been able to find. And so we're very excited to have Wasim on board. This is a very challenging role. Oftentimes, it's easier to find QA who do front-end, but it's very hard to find quality testers who are able to understand back-end testing. And so Wasim just happens to have all that mixture and is excited about taking on this role. So he's just joined Peerplays. He's getting familiar with everything. And soon we're going to be seeing some awesome reports from him on the testing he's done with the backend. So if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about how secure our blockchain is, Wasim will be the guy to go to because he'll be spending all his time trying to break it. So yeah, that is the update for collaborations and dedicated team updates for this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so questions, comments, thoughts. I'll leave it open to you all here first. And there was one question that came in from the community. Jonathan, this question will be for you. PBSA announced earlier this year it would add new board members, but PBSA website doesn't show any updates. Is there a status? Has Peerplays considered any members of the Telegram community for that position?
Yeah, so actually there isn't any updates on that question at the moment. There are candidates which I've spoken about in the past that are coming on board. It's just a matter of the timing of it all. But yeah, that is pretty much it. In terms of somebody in Telegram, actually, I believe these candidates that I'm considered that I've been talking about are actually already in the Telegram chat. So the answer is yes, I guess. So that's about all I got on that question.
Thank you. Okay, so that ends today's town hall meeting. If there's no other questions here, thank you all for joining us today on August 29th, 2022, and we'll see you next Monday. Thank you.